Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead. Season 9, Rick Grimes, exit spoiler, more fan reactions. We've had an extremely busy day. Started early this morning with a confirmed spoiler. Tons of awesome comments. Also, we did a follow-up video to that. Did a live stream, special live stream at 6:30 if you guys missed it. We will talk about some of that content, but get back and watch that and check out some of the comments to that as well. And appreciate everybody being here tonight. We have got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. I know there's still some lurkers out there, some people that don't like what's going on with it, but I will tell you 90 to 95% of the comments I've gotten are extremely positive. Everybody's pumped up. I do have to warn you, it is in the title, but there is going to be spoiler information. We are going to use some of Spoiling Dead's fan page information and walk through several confirmations, not just the Rick confirmation where we correct on, but there's something else. If you missed the earlier stream, I will surprise you with it in a little bit, but there was another prediction we made that's a very big prediction that's going to come true, and then there's some epic news that is going to follow. So I do want to say this. I'm not going to make this stream negative, but I got to just throw an idea out there to people because we have kind of the same people. You know, there's some negative, and I have always believed that people in our stream should have the opportunity to express their viewpoint as long as it's done in a professional way and there's some interaction. But the question I have for you, and this would be my own super chat, would Talking Dead allow a whole bunch of people to sit in the stands and just boo and complain and whine about something? So if they don't, then I'm just starting to give some consideration to the 5 or 6 people that always show up and never have a damn good thing to say about the show. I don't think you're fans. I just think you're frustrating, and you're just trying to get to people. It's okay to disagree from time to time, but when it starts to go down a path where you're disruptive to all the people that are really here and we're excited about it, then we're going to rethink who we allow into the club. Just going to say that. So speak up, but just don't drag everybody down all the time. You got to be able to see both points of views. All right, I got a super chat here. I got Scott Kernan who says, "Hey Kills, I just want to say I support the helicopter exit, and it's a nice callback to season 1. I'm wondering if the exit will be rescue or capture." You know what? I think it's a great question. So we're going to start out early and just throw that as a super chat spotlight. What do you guys think? Rescue or exit? The fact that Jadis is going with him, I think it is both. I think it is going to be both. I think there's going to be something a little bit different that they're going to help out, and I just think he's not going to be able to go back. So we got both sides here. A lot of people are saying rescue, and I think the reason why people are going to say it turns into a capture is just how long would it take Rick to get back. But you know what? I don't want to rain on everybody's parade, but it still could be death. I mean, let's not forget, he's not out of the woods yet. We didn't see him die, but one of the things that I've said, and I've held true to this, is I think this exit should satisfy almost everybody except the people that just want to see him turn into a walker and just need that in order to sleep at night. But I think if you want Rick Grimes to be dead, when he gets on the helicopter, close your eyes and just say out loud to yourself, Rick Grimes died on the helicopter. I'm happy he's dead. If you want him to be alive, then say he's going to make it. And if you think there's more story to it, then you could say, well, possibly, 5 years is a long time. He should be back by now. We're going to have to talk about it. All right, so we got E-Beach. E-Beach with a super chat is Kills. Who else would we lose in the very near future? I am not aware of anybody else dying, at least with the spoilers I'm going to read today. They did not highlight that anybody else would die. I'm going to get into that in a second, E-Beach, but I would say in the near future, we're going to have the Whisperers right around the corner. And by right around the corner, I mean probably episode 6. Because we're going to get a time skip in 5. We got June Smith. June Smith, how you doing, June? June says, love, love, love the Army. And what great news today. I never gave up hope. I love that word. My man, Rick. Love it, love it, love it. What's up, everybody? And Valar, hello, 99 Army, Kill Steph, Kells, Emmy, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, Patreons, and, of course, all the super chatters. And I have to read something for you guys. Do you guys mind if I read? I know you want to get into the spoilers, but is anybody going to be offended if I just read a personal message? And I've gotten several like these, but I won't say who the person is. But just to give you an idea of the impact of Rick Grimes. This is a little dialogue back and forth today. So, hey Kills, I miss you and the 999 Army, but I've been missing the streams and videos intentionally because my heart cannot take whatever happens to Rick. I am still trying to mentally prepare myself for heartbreak. Once it's over, I'll be back in the streams. So I had to pry. I had to say, well, is it because you're expecting something bad to happen, or because, see, I'm kind of the master of getting to the point, or is it because you don't like spoilers? So once I confirmed that the spoilers had nothing to do with it, it was just the fear of something bad happening, I was like, oh, get into streams. There's good news. Rick survives. So it was no problem after that. But I have gotten many messages over the last couple of weeks similar to that. There's just an anxiety. And we talked about how much this character means to the show. And even if we don't see him happy, the way we're going to tie up this spoiler chat today, you're going to see why Rick living makes a lot of sense and how energetic and enthusiastic that hopefully I can get each of you to be. And as I said, there's a few people who still disagree, and it is your right to disagree. You can definitely disagree. Just don't make comments like, I don't see how a bunch of stupid people like this awful ending. It's trash. Come on, man, really? You can say, I feel like there's a plot hole. It doesn't do it for me. But then, and I guess a lot of people are so used to trolling and criticizing, they don't realize how offensive that some of their comments can actually be. So let's get into it. Who's ready for some spoilers? If you guys are ready to talk spoilers and talk about the things that are happening, I do need you to hit the like button. It's the price of admission. That is your admission ticket into the fan club, into the show. You got to slap that like button. And while you're doing that, I do want to say these spoilers are courtesy of my personal friends, Ninja Pancake and Shiny Firefly over at the Spoiling Dead's fan page, who always come through. And I will say, especially in this instance, typically they like to hold a little something back for big news, but because it's such big news, and I think they were feeling so much pressure and anxiety as well, they confirmed it. So just want to give a shout out to them as well. All right, let's get to it, everybody. So once again, these are not my spoilers. First question that was raised to them is about Heath's RV, and will we see anything to do with Heath this episode? No. But we're already getting the theories, and see, this is why plot holes are good. This is why we got to have things to talk about. Because we didn't find out what happened to Heath, but now that Jadis is going to get on the copter and Rick is going away, then there's talk, hey, what if there's a movie and we get to see Heath and Rick kind of escape from wherever they're at? Maybe they don't make it. Maybe they do. Maybe they're flown overseas and it takes them 5 years to get back. I mean, there's just not a lot of boats you can jump on and go across the ocean. I mean, there could be a lot of things that are possibilities. Matt Wilden, thank you so much for your support, but just do me a big favor, just an absolute favor. I don't know what happens on other people's channels, but if you guys could not bash other people's YouTube channels, one thing that I do want to do a little bit differently is I can't control who goes in a Movie Idol stream or a PT stream or a Trev stream or a Ronnie stream. What I can do, though, is ask you guys just to conduct yourself with a little bit of class. And you don't have to like them. You don't have to love them. But let's not bash them and type comments that make them look bad. Is that cool? Is that too much to ask? Just take that negative energy and make it positive energy and just love what we do here. As long as you guys support us here, I'm okay with that. You don't have to bash anybody else. Cool. All right. Hopefully we're on the same page. So, I think that sets up a real good movie story, because what we looked at as a negative with Heath being gone could now be a nice plot line for a big announcement by Scott Gimple. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it Sunday night. I hope he does it, man. I hope he does it. Amy Ferrero says, look at how long the Morales thing went. Plot holes. Yeah, I will tell you, the Morales thing, there are two things that really, I guess, sort of annoyed me. And you guys probably know what they are. One was the Morales theories that ultimately, I don't know if they ever thought about bringing Morales back, but it just became such a life of its own that they did it. And number two is the Rick's arm thing, is Rick losing his arm. Not going to happen. But boy, have we talked about it a lot. And Pete D likes to jump in and super chat that every once in a while as well too. I think Pete's probably watching the playback, so luckily I won't have to see the Rick arm comment. But let's get into a couple other things here. This is a very, very big deal. And I am absolutely taking I'm taking a victory lap here. If you guys can't tell, I'm pretty proud of myself today because when some of these confirmations went through, and then this one guy goes in a video, just a side story. He says, well, Kills, I thought you said that Jed was going to kill Rick. I never said Jed was going to kill Rick. I reported that SoapDirt.com had a spoiler out that said Jed would shoot Rick. Just want to be clear with that. But this I definitely said, and it is being confirmed, and is probably, I think, the second biggest news in this episode. I think there's three really big announcements, and I'm going to go through all three of them. But this is my opinion, is probably the second biggest. And it is the Maggie Negan scene. So here's what happens. And if you saw the extended minutes, you know that Maggie and Michonne are having a standoff. And I got a super chat. I got the Rusty Lion. Made a sweet Rick tribute. Check it out if you can. Rusty, thanks for that super chat. Just one thing, though. If you are going to market another channel, let's you and I discuss it. I have no problem supporting people that want to get into the industry and want to do it. I just have a problem when they do it without announcing it when we're trying to talk about something else. So you and I could definitely talk offline, and if it's something that would be appealing to my fans, I would certainly support it. If it's something that you're just sort of barging in, then super chat or no super chat, I'm just not a big fan of that. But we'll talk, okay? All right. Let's talk about the Maggie and Negan issue and how it is going to go down. So, we've got Maggie and Michonne with a little bit of a standoff, and Michonne will step to the side and let Maggie go in and see Negan in the cell. So, Negan is not shocked. He's not scared. It is nothing. Scott says, Maggie Negan scene taken right out of issue 174. Okay, down with that. Negan gets down on his knees and says, kill me. And she's a little bit surprised. Then he starts begging her to kill him. And she goes, why? And he wants to be with his wife, and Maggie finally decides that leaving him alive and suffering is better than punishment. This is important. One, how many people feel like at that moment that Maggie understands exactly what Rick was trying to do? Rick left him alive. Rick actually sit down and sort of continued to verbally torture him to a degree. Maybe not abuse, but he just wanted to say, it's all going well. It's all going good. There's no problems now that you're not in charge anymore, and you're never getting out of here. And he also wanted to leave him as an example. So Rick did not love Negan. Scott Kernan, Super Chat, says, Kirkman said it's possible comic Negan is done. Possibly, Scott, but once again, I got to tell you, after 107, you're completely over my head with the comic storylines. I will certainly catch up, probably during the break in about 4 weeks, whenever I can take a day off and actually catch up with some of the comics. But more so, and more importantly to the Negan-Maggie dynamic, is that how many people were involved in the stream when we stated that Maggie would pull a gun on Negan and she would not be able to finish the job, and when Maggie finally spared Negan, it would be what it takes for the general public to start accepting Negan. And I think my exact words were to many people who said, I won't ever forgive him, I won't ever forgive him. And I said, well, why would you not forgive him if the person that hates him the most lets him live? And there was silence. There were a lot of people like, you know what, you got a good point. Why am I going to hold this grudge forever if Maggie feels like it's best to leave him alive? Now, I don't think she's going to forgive him. I think she's going to leave. But I think she understands she doesn't want to be around him. No, and just a sidebar, Rusty Lion, send it to me, and I will review it. And if it's a good tribute, I will tell everybody in these streams to check it out. Fair enough. No hard feelings, man. I just wanted to kind of point that out. No hard feelings at all. Tracy D says, I was, and I disagreed with you, but now I see your point. So I am certainly not bragging tonight. I'm just very proud of a couple of theories that all of us talked through and put out. There's a whole lot of wrong ones. We're not going to talk about those tonight. We're going to forget the wrong ones because the right ones feel really good right now. All right. Let's get into a couple other things. This is really interesting, and this is really the trippy part of tonight's episode. Which characters are we going to see and the interaction? So Shane, Herschel, and Sasha. So here's the way it's going to go down. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be a big part of the episode. And I do have to respond to one comment that was left on a video as well, because they didn't understand the searching for the family thing. Jimmy's Jammin' with a super chat says, Kills, I couldn't be happier about the survival of Rick and the helicopter whisking him away. Jimmy, I want to do something right now. And this is not to single anybody out, because at the end of this episode, I want everybody to continue watching the show, and I want everybody to like it. So, just as a survey check and a pulse check, if you're extremely hyped and happy that Rick Grimes survives via helicopter, give me a yes. If you don't like that ending, give me a no. We're not going to hold it against you if it's a no. We want you here. We want you to talk. We want you involved. No doubt about it. But I do want to talk through it. But I just want to see how many people are just super, super excited about it. And I think when people watch the playback, and also the fact that some people saying no will continue to watch and continue to get involved in the Whisper storyline, we can all disagree. There's nothing saying we can't disagree. But I just want you guys to see the percentage of people that actually are relieved and do love it. And I think because of that, that made me like it a little bit more as well. Steve Smitherman says, Kills, they moved the Maggie Negan scene way up. JDM is going to have to help carry the show and can't have him hated. Got to start bringing... I agree with that 100%, Steve. It's something we've been talking about for a while, like how in a short period of time are the fans going to accept Negan? Well, you're going to have a 5-year time skip, and you're also going to have a villain like we've never seen before. Matt Wilden, just showing some support. Great videos, man. Best on YouTube. Those are some of the most amazing super chats ever. So Matt, love it. Thank you for your support. While we're transitioning into next topic, And I know I say this a lot, but I really feel like we got the best fans on YouTube. I do. You guys are smart. You're passionate. You're loyal. You're dedicated. You get involved in the chat. When I talk about silly stuff, you don't always come out and just spew a bunch of venom and say, I hate you and you need to go drink bleach, which some people have told me in the past. And you disagree. Sometimes I have some wild theories that are out there, and you guys kind of keep me in check, like, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. But the one thing about this group is it's an amazing group. And how many people sent me personal messages this morning when this spoiler came out was just awesome. So, wow, there's a whole lot of love in the house. I just want to thank everybody. That's all. All right, let's get to these trippy scenes, because they are trippy. So Rick, it's kind of like Rick sees all these ghosts, these three ghosts. So he does have a scene with Herschel, and the first thing he does is, and it's going to be very moving with Scott Wilson, but I mean, he apologizes for what happened to Herschel, what happened to Beth, what happened to Glenn, and also what Maggie's been put through. And Rick says, I'm looking for my family. Now, this is going to be a point of debate because the audience really thinks that Rick is looking for Lori and Carl. But he ain't. And the reason is because Rick's still alive. So if you're looking for your family and you're not really dead, and a couple people typed, well, that's disrespectful to Lori and Carl. No, it's not, because they're not his current family. So it's not disrespectful. It shows you his current state, that he's not dead, even though he's visualizing a dead person. He's still looking for he's looking for Michonne, Judy, and the rest of his friends. Yes. Sorry about that. So he's looking for his current family. Michonne, Judy, and everyone else. So he meets each of the other characters, and same conversation. Same conversation with Sasha, and then he has a run-in with Shane. All right. The Shane thing was meant to believe it was strictly motivational, but it doesn't start out that way. So it appears that the scene with Shane is back when they shot the pilot episode. Shane is he's being an ass. And he keeps asking, like, how's my daughter doing, Rick? How's my daughter doing? And then Shane confesses that he always was an ass to Rick. And he says, but he had hoped to sort of toughen him up a little bit. And then he does start yelling at Rick and tells him exactly what he needs to do. I don't know the exact verbiage. It's probably like, you need to get up, you need to fight it, you need to do this. So then we got like military Shane all over again. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see that dynamic and how it plays out. Super chat, we got Amy Ferraro says, great 99 Army led by a classy leader and crew. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. And Lynx says, they said Rick would do 6 episodes, but he dies in the 5th. And I have heard he was contracted through 8. So maybe it just changed, or they paid him a little bit extra. But, yeah. Or, I guess there's the remote possibility. He could be a flashback. I don't think so. If they said it's Rick Grimes' final, it's his final. Probably just some misinformation. So, here we go. And we're going to talk about the bridge situation and the Rick situation. And this part of the spoiler, I was only half right. Because the bridge is strong. So I had suggested that he will sacrifice himself and the bridge, and this looked like it was playing out, but the bridge is too strong, and the walkers will not collapse it. And it's going to get a little bit weird here. So if you thought the rebarb was a little bit strange, apparently, and this to me is, do you guys remember the stream we did with Dr. Carson and the bear traps? I'll never forget the bear traps. Because I was very outspoken in the fact that there just are not a lot of wild bears in Virginia. I mean, there are, but there are not, it's not like a big deal. So I was surprised there were that many bear traps. So this next thing, to me, is the equivalent of a bear trap. It really is. Because of all the things that seem a little bit unbelievable, this is probably more unbelievable than the rebar. But you know what? I don't care. Because Rick Grimes lives. And I know there's plot holes. And I know you can't satisfy everybody. But if Rick would have died, there would be a lot more unhappy people than if there happened to be a box of dynamite on the bridge. What are the odds that there's a box of dynamite? I mean, I guess they've been doing some blasting and they've been doing some stuff and some things. But the walkers will not break the bridge, but there just happens to be a box of dynamite. I'll get that 1 second. Lee George with a super chat says, "Thank you for your support for us Kills. In the face of Rick danger, no matter how the outcome, you've been nothing but positive, upbeat all along, and have made this giant ordeal easier to live with." Wow, thank you, Lee. I appreciate that. I do try to stay positive because there's so much to enjoy about this show. If this show is not around, many of these relationships and this stream and how much you guys interact with each other just wouldn't be there. So I'm going to be a supporter of the show from now until forever, even if I disagree about some of the things that happen. And it's easy when you perform and you have a good group of people. It's a heck of a lot easier when you have this group to talk to. All right, so let's get it out of our system. I'm okay with it. If you guys just want to type silly, corny, box of dynamite, go ahead. Let's just get it over with. Because then we're going to enjoy the fact that he makes it. So apparently, when the bridge holds, Rick notices a case of dynamite on the bridge. But by this time, this is important, Maggie, Michonne, Carol, and several others have arrived on the bridge. So I still think, and I'm not even going to say I think, I know, Rick sees them, but he thinks they're an illusion. And here's why. I think they when they have the scene of Rick kneeling down and they run past him, I actually think a couple of them are going to run through him. I think that's going to be some really cool special effects. That scene does not happen. I'm 99% that scene does not happen. So Rick's kneeling, and then Daryl runs by, and he looks over, and they just run through him like Ghost. So when he walks across the bridge the second time, and they show up, he thinks it's still an illusion, like he's freaking out. But, yes, to confirm, Maggie, Michonne, and Carol will all witness Rick shooting the box of dynamite and blowing up the bridge. Now, what's more unbelievable here? The fact that there's dynamite on the bridge, or the fact that Rick actually hit something he aims for? Because we know Rick's aim is really bad. We've seen it. Rick is like a stormtrooper. So, it must be a dream, right? It's got to be a dream if Rick actually hit something. But no. Rick probably thought it was a dream too. He probably shot it and he's like, this can't be reality. I just actually hit something. So, the bridge goes up in fire and everyone looks on. So, this dynamite blows up and they think he's dead. Now, how many people have been in the streams almost every night for the last 3 weeks? Just a show of hands. Just me. Because many of you have. And many of you have been here every single night looking for any little bit of information that we could come across. So those of you that have been here, the one underlying theme that we've said all along is Rick dies, but Rick lives. It has to be there. It has to be obvious. There has to be proof. There has to be something that makes all of them think that he's gone, that he didn't survive it. And then the helicopter takes him away. Well, this is our scenario. This is the reason. So as they look on and he is gone, he apparently gets blasted, washed down river a little bit. We don't have all the details on that. I'm just going off the Q&A. And then the big question is, how does Rick exit the show? And how does it end? So it ends with Jadis finding Rick near the bridge after the explosion. And according to Spoiling Dead's fan page, and I quote, she takes him with her on the helicopter. She doesn't send him up. She leaves with him. So the only witness that knows he's alive is now gone. Right, June? He's gone, oh I better learn how to face, he's gone. So Rick is gone, everybody's happy. That's not everything that happens. There's even more. And this, I don't know if I want to rate this as the number 2 most epic thing or the number 3 most epic thing. I'll let you guys decide because we're going to do a show rating here in a minute. Lakeisha says, whoop, whoop, Rick Grimes lives listening as I drive home. So do you want to know how the show really ends? A massive time jump at the very end. Magna and her crew are introduced, and they're saved. If you did not hear my earlier stream, I think this is going to give you like cold chills. So be ready. Magna and her crew are introduced, and they're saved by a stranger. The stranger is 10-year-old Judith Grimes with a shotgun and Carl's hat. That just blows me away. Judy is taken. She's saving Magna. We get to see the time skip. Judy is badass. I mean, Carl grew up. Sorry, Chandler, you're 19, you're 20, you're too old to play the part. Judy is going to, she's going to kill it. She is going to kill it with Carl's hat and a shotgun, and she is out there taking care of business. That is the way it goes down. Now, let me say this, because to me, this is a 2-part deal. If Rick died, I don't think I would have gotten the reaction out of each and every one of you. I think it would have been depressing and uplifting at the same time, which I think would have been even. But the fact that you're like, okay, we did. All we needed was the hope of Rick to be alive, and maybe he comes back. But now we got Magna, and we got Negan is gonna be fighting on this team. Daryl's gonna be fighting, and we got Judy out there with a gun. So I gotta ask again. Are we ready for some whispers now? Are we ready for a whisper war? Do we got enough? I know we'd like to have Rick fighting there. I know we'd like to have Abraham fighting there. But look, Jesus, Daryl, Maggie's leaving, Michonne, Judy, Negan is going to be conformed. I think we can be ready to face Magna as well. So if Magna was introduced and Judy was grown up, I think people would have been like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we're going to support these new characters. But the fact that you didn't lose Rick and now you got something extra, if you can't be excited about that and have that be your lead into this weekend, that's unbelievable news. And that's why we've got tons and tons of people just continually messaging, leaving comments like how excited they are about the upcoming story. Michonne has Rick's baby. What do you think? It would be interesting. We'll find out, right, Kay? So we'll know in the time skip. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to see if we do have another one. Walking Dead Nerds. Exciting time to be a Walking Dead fan, and so happy to be here with the 999. Thank you for that as well. Just some awesome super chats all day long. We've got Scott Kernan. Some time to adapt to this 5-year time skip. Nope, no time to adapt. Part of the reason why there's no time to adapt is 5 years is long enough for them to mourn Rick. They have moved on. And I don't know that we wanted to see a bunch of fake mourning because we know he's alive, or we hope he's still alive. They don't. So we've seen it so many times. I'm okay with them just skipping time and saying, let's just move it along and get some action going. How many times we complain in season 7 and at the end of 7 and some of 8, like, okay, yeah, it took too long to tell the story, and Maggie's been pregnant for like 3 seasons. We need to see some stuff, and I think we're going to see some stuff really quick. Andrea Ray, didn't someone say Rick doesn't die in a stream like July? You sure weren't holding out on his kills. Andrea, we actually said it in June. In June, it was way, way early when we talked about. I'll tell you guys the stream. I don't know if everybody remembers it, but in that stream, we mentioned that there was a rumored filming where many of the cast went to Atlanta and all the paparazzi and all the spoiler people followed them. But then while that was going on, we heard that the helicopter was spotted in a different set and Jadis and Rick were filming there. And that just kind of planted enough of a seed, like this helicopter's got to mean something. It was in that stream. And there's been many other streams we've talked about it because when we get on a topic, we like to filter it down and get down to the clues. So I'll get back to that in 1 second because we got Crystal, the singer chick Gore, far, far too generous super chat. This is, thank you, Crystal. I always kind of struggle when there's big super chats like this because I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to read your comment. And Kills, for my part, I love you, the mods, Pat, sponsors, and the 99 Army. Right alongside my Walking Dead. I have 2 gigs Friday and Saturday, so I'll catch playbacks. But we'll be here in spirit, 999 Army strong. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. Like I said, that is far too generous. And I know we've got a ton of support just between super chatters and Patreons and sponsors and the people that are here that watch all the ads. Many people are like, Kills, I don't watch the ads for any YouTube videos except yours. So thank you. I can't say that enough times. And Mel pops in. As soon as Mel pops in, it's like, what's up, Mel? Mel is not an overly big fan of the spoilers. However, I think he probably knows at this point the word is out there. When we mentioned this, though, Mel did say some interesting stuff about spot on with one of the theories as we talked about the helicopter. So I don't know if he had a little inside information, but this has been something we've been holding on to for a long time. And if there's one analogy that you guys can always remember with this channel, and especially, we got 4 more weeks. When we get a big prediction or a big theory, we always compare it to like a funnel. And many of you might remember the funnel analogy that we did back in June and said, we're going to start with about 5 or 6 different things, and we're going to have visuals and news and gossip and whatever, and we're just going to pick them apart little by little, and whatever's left standing is what's left standing. And the helicopter was really all that was left standing. Now, how we got to the helicopter, there were multiple things that could have played out. It could have been, Jed could have shot Rick. The rebar could have been him stuck there until he got rescued from there. The trip back is definitely rewarding to see him get back. So there's a lot of ways it could have played out. But I think that once we got onto the helicopter, I think most of you were really on board with that. And it just kind of, it was one of those streams where it was silent for a little bit. Like everybody's thinking about it and processing. It's like, well, we can't think of a reason why that doesn't happen, so it must be fairly legit. So we got Samantha W. Kills. Doesn't this seem a lot to fit into one episode? I hope they don't rush it. It is a lot, but the time skip is not going to be a big deal. I mean, that's just going to be a few minutes at the end to sort of, make you feel good, because everybody's going to feel good anyway. And how many super chats did I miss? There's a lot of them. I did miss Matt's super chat. Mel, you guys are killing me. Mel just super chatted to show me that I missed a super chat. So thank you so much. Matt Wilden, do you think the Whisperers will be more brutal than the Saviors? You know what? I'm going to answer that, and we're going to make that a super chat spotlight as well, because I'm going to ask everybody in here that's watching, do you think the Whisperers will be more brutal than the Saviors? I'm going to say 10 times more brutal. 10 times more brutal. I have said this a couple of times, Matt. I don't think you will see any element of them that you sympathize with. I don't even think you'll see a twisted backstory to say, well, maybe they acted like this because of this. I think they're going to be brutal, and we are going to hate them so much. Keep in mind that the more we hate the Whispers, the more we will accept Negan. And Negan is not, he's still not on forgiven ground at this point. I mean, there's a lot of people who are like, okay, Maggie's turning the other cheek. I'm going to turn the other cheek. Rick didn't kill him. We might need him. And now it's like, no, you're going to need him. Am I happy about what he did? And as of episode 6.5 years ago, because there's going to be a 6.5 year time skip from the time he murdered Glenn and Abraham. No, I don't like it. But I know when Beta starts decapitating people and you look around, it's like, okay, Negan says he's changed. Get out there and prove it. And when he starts taking out a couple Whispers, and he's fighting beside me. So I absolutely think they will be beyond hated. I think it'll be the worst enemy we've ever seen. I think it'll be the worst enemy we've ever seen on television. I really do. All right, we're going to get to a couple more comments here. Really, really exciting, energetic stream. Man, time flies, right? So let me do this. I'm going to do a couple 999 surveys. From a scale of a 1 to a 10, how would you rate this Sunday's episode based on the spoilers that I've just given you? And we will do this again Sunday night in our reactions. We will talk. But I just think there's going to be a lot of crazy numbers in here. You will see more 10s and more numbers above 10 than any other stream we've ever done. So that's the level of support the fans have for the show. If Rick would have died, it wouldn't have been there. You'd have satisfied a few people that wanted a congruent story. You'd have satisfied a few people that wanted it to end. But you would have isolated and affected 90 to 95% of the viewing audience. The story of Rick Grimes started The Walking Dead. The hope, the continued story, is there. we may never see Rick Grimes again. We might not. But I've said it on countless other streams. Even if I don't see him, knowing that he could be out there somewhere is enough to keep me focused on everything else that's going on. I absolutely love it. And I did this in an earlier stream, and I just want to do it one more time. If you guys think Angela Kang has done a hell of a... I'm not just kissing up to her, so they'll call me one day and say, hey, Kills, we'd like for you to be on Talking Dead. Although, if I kiss up to her, maybe that might happen. If you guys have absolutely loved the writing, if you've loved her running the show, if you've loved everything about the season, type it in right now. Just show a little bit of support, because I think it has been by far my favorite first half. I think she's done an incredible job. Completely classy, and she's done a better job, in my mind, than Scott Gimple. And I think Scott Gimple did a really good job of stepping to the side, knowing that they needed some fresh ideas in there. Scott Kernan said Rick found his family through a chopper. He will leave through a helicopter. That's kind of poetic, Scott. And he may be told he can never see his family again, or he may be in a place where he doesn't even know where he is. Jason the Mixologist Daily says, Kills. So it is safe to say the Walker in the beginning intro is a whisper. Jason, I think the Walker is Rick. I do think it's Rick, and I think it's Rick going through his past. And the only small clue that makes me think that it is Rick is the eyes. I think that the kind of bluish eyes was our hint that he's going to make it somehow. And he's just kind of looking over everything that's been accomplished. I think it's just more symbolic. Mel the Vulture, super chatting. And thank you, Mel. Says, love seeing the growth of your channel, man. Keep doing what you do here. Awesome thing to be a part of. Everyone have a good evening. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate you being here, being a part of our channels. You guys have, in the last year, I can't put a number on not just our growth, because the growth it's a number. You look at it, but the way we grow our channel with good people is like, it's 10 times more important than growing a channel. And hopefully you see that with the words, the typing, and how you guys, if I miss someone's comment and you guys see a good comment, I will see like, hey, I agree with you, Julie. I agree with you, Mel. I agree with you, Steph. So even though I can't get to everybody, the fact that you are kind of self-governing from time to time and you're looking at what each other's saying, I think is just awesome. And thank you for that, for highlighting it and pointing it out. And hopefully we continue to grow the channel with the same quality people. So, Joe, can you briefly tell us who the Whispers are? Joe, there's a lot. We did a stream based on the Whispers, and it was probably maybe a month ago. And we can do another one. But they're kind of a cult group. Pretty sick group. They have a lot of sick practices that I'm not going to go over in the stream. But they walk among the dead, and they decapitate to warn people and put them on pikes to keep people away. They cut off the faces of people and wear them as masks to blend in. Yeah, completely brutal group, and just some sick things that they do. So that's just kind of a little bit of the overview. We'll get more into their story as we're introduced to them. All right, I'm gonna let's go through just a couple things here and see if there's anything that we missed. So, just one more thing that I want to get everybody's kind of thoughts on, because I said that there's a lot of things that happened in this episode, but there were three things that were kind of moving to me. One is, and look, there's side things there. There's a lot of grace and a lot of bonds This horse is is probably one of the most moving things to me in the show because, well, first of all, I love animals. But the fact that the horse got scared and you almost saw it as a mistake, and that caused Rick's situation, and the fact that the horse would not leave Rick and was waiting for him is a very, very powerful gesture in the show. The handprint on the horse, the fact that Rick looks to be repaying the horse at the end and letting the horse leave while he walks across the bridge so he can save himself. There's stories within stories this week. So that to me is, there's a lot of good stuff, but that immediate bond and that understanding of his situation and not just running away and being afraid of those walkers. So I think that's very symbolic. I also think the bridge, from the Comic-Con trailer, we said the bridge will be the central theme of what goes on. To spend all of this time building a bridge just to blow it up is so significant. Where some people are going to look at this and say, wow, what a complete waste of time. But it's not. The bridge taught them how to rebuild. And it was like a base, a place to get back to that is ultimately going to be what saves everybody's life. So the bridge, we thought initially it was meant to connect, but it wasn't. The bridge was meant to save everybody's life. So a lot of meaning with that as well. Tanya Dockstader says, Kills, just want to say that I truly appreciate this live stream, you and the mods, and especially our 999 family, and I'm so thrilled that we're at 80K. Thank you so much, Tanya. I am as well. And, this is just like so many milestones. We hit 80K. I mentioned in a stream earlier. We just hit 100 million minutes watched on our channel. So that not only tells me that we're not doing as many videos as everybody. So, there are people out there that are doing 3 or 4 of these 5-minute videos per day. And one of the things that we do is we really filter down to these live streams because I think they have more value and they're more fun to do. There's more networking. And the retention that people aren't watching 5 minutes of a video, that they're watching 30, 40, an hour, sometimes an hour and 15 minutes. Probably one of the most proud numbers for me is the retention numbers that not only do people check in, but they hang out and they enjoy themselves. And as long as there's a story to tell and we hang out, we have fun, then we're going to keep doing it. A couple other things. I do like the time skip, and I do like that we won't see like an overly guilty Daryl blaming himself for Rick's death like he did for Glenn. And I absolutely love the Judith storyline. So I'm going to give you 3 examples, and if you guys could just type enough to let me know what you're most excited about. Rick lives, Negan lives, or Judy becomes Carl. So pick those 3 and let me know what you are most excited for. I think most people are going to pick Rick, but I just want to know what some of the other stories are. Kimberly M. No, it's never an interruption, Kimberly, so absolutely. So Kimberly M., thank you for that. It says, Hi, Kills. I don't want to interrupt this discussion. It has been full of passion tonight. Just want to support this amazing channel and everyone involved in making it. What a wonderful group. So super chats are never an interruption. And as I said, they add a fresh perspective. When they're thank you, I absolutely love it. So thank you in return. But if they're just ideas or thoughts or something that you just want included, we will stop whatever we're doing and we're going to focus on that super chat because I think that shifting topics and keeping the conversation about what you guys want it to be sometimes instead of some tangent that I may get on is perfectly fine. It makes every video unique. I could have a set of bullet points and go through those bullet points, and I think it's going to turn into something that's very robotic, but including you and in the chat really makes it about you and your chat. So we do have some, it's not all Rick, which is great. I'm seeing some people that really they're going to rally around Negan. And, some other people that are really looking forward to this Judy story. Lisa Smith, I love this. Rick living is like a Christmas present. Lamar's like, kills your... of course I'm excited. This is... I'm so looking forward to the reaction video after The Walking Dead. Do many of you realize how difficult that stream was going to be for me if he died? I mean, because I'm going to feel exactly like all of you. So for me to be here behind the mic and trying to keep it overly positive, I mean, I'll do my best. I'll find a way to do it. But I'm relieved because I think we're just going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Sunday night, late Sunday night. It's going to be much less therapy and I think more of a celebration of how exciting it's going to be. I appreciate that. Jason says, I would have been looking to you guys for support, I think. Yeah, Donnie, no doubt, because there's still a lot of people that don't watch spoilers. They don't know the spoilers. They won't get the news until Sunday night. So it will absolutely... I expect it to be our largest stream that we've ever done. I think there'll be more people. And I'm just trying to figure out what the schedule is going to be because we have been streaming during Talking Dead and then afterwards. I'm still thinking about that if I want to wait until after. I mean, look, when the show's over, there's people that are supercharged. And they want to talk immediately, so we'll talk about that. You know what? We're going to wind this down. We've covered all the spoilers. And what I'll do is... because if I don't wind it down, we'll do a little bit of outtakes. I'll hang out with you guys for a few minutes if that's cool. But I want to do our regular closing segment. So people that just want to come in and hear the spoilers and get the shout outs at the end, then, we'll let them know that this is the end of the video and then we'll hang out for a few minutes. Let's do that. So I do want to say thanks to Westwood Chronic with a super chat. Says, too early for heads on Pike's predictions. I'm feeling strong 80% chance for Enid and Tara. You know what, Westwood? If it's Tara, somewhere Pete D is smiling and enjoying that. Too early. Maybe middle of next week we'll start doing some heads on Pike's predictions. Chris Riddle, we are here for each other. No doubt about it, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So we are at 57 minutes, and let me do a few shout-outs. And once again, if you guys want to hang out for a few minutes, it'll kind of be casual chat. We'll catch up on a couple things. So if you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits. So I do want to say thanks to first and foremost, because we're starting left to right, the upper left-hand corner, all the patrons that we have here. We've been adding them left and right. So Patreon's a third-party channel. You get a little bit extra, a little bit more of kind of me away from YouTube. Just some things and some chats and some polls, and a lot of times I'll ask you guys, what do you want to do for the stream? But we actually do have, just as of a couple minutes ago, we added another Patreon. So Jose yesterday, Sheila Beasley, longtime supporter of the channel, and just got a message that Carrie Stoffenberger and also Lee George. So neither one of them been added up there. So 2 new Patreons. Thank you so much. We're like probably 75 sponsors of the channel. Unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Top right, another amazing group is our sponsors. Many of the sponsors are also Patreons. So you see their name in green, and also they do custom emojis and a couple other things. Really quick, we don't talk about it a lot, but we do have some gear down below. People are asking me about hoodies, so you can check those out as well. And a portion of everything that's sold down there does go to fight breast cancer, Susan G. Komen. So there's that as well. And what else do we got? We got a ton of super chatters tonight, so just hold tight with me 1 second. I want to shout out all these super chatters because they're just here every night and spending a ton of money, and I got to shout them out because they're awesome too. Scott Kernan, eBeach72, June Smith, Villar, Amy Ferrero, the Rusty Lion. Rusty, send me that video. We're cool, brother. Scott Kernan, Scott did multiple super chats tonight. Jimmy's Jammin', Steve Smitherman, Matt Wilden, multiple super chats tonight too. Amy Ferrero, Lynx, Lee George, Lakeisha Faison, Kay Hensley, Walking Dead Nerd, Adrian Raylan, Crystal the Singer Chick Gore, Samantha W., Mel the Vulture, Jason Mixologist, Joe Fulford, Tanya Dockstader, Kimberly M., and Westwood Chronic, and also Chris Riddle. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. And it would not be a stream if I didn't announce 3 more things. One, everybody here, hit the like button. Come on, show some love. If you like what we do, if you're going to be here and hang out with us, hit that button. If you didn't like what we do, hit the dislike button. And also, if you're brand new, it's your first stream, you haven't been here, subscribe, and there's a little bell. So if you hit that bell, you're going to find out that we do streams all the time, usually every night at 9:30, but we also do some emergency streams as well. And anybody else that's still here from the 999 Army, give me some quick 999s because I want to shout out a few people. I can't always shout out everybody because these streams are growing really fast. We have 700, 800, 900 people. I think Sunday night we're probably going to have a couple thousand people in and out, so I'll shout out who I can. So let's just start. I'm going to jump around wherever I see 999. So Jimmy Sue Poole, thank you. Brandon Seals, Jim, Tommy V, Marcia Cooper, Lisa, Myko the Psycho, Shane Yahtzee, Harpy Gaming, Anna Hume, Sergeant Chosen One, the Gaming Squad, Dwayne Willis, Craig Hay, Lisa Khaleesi, Stephanie Pribble, I think, Lamar Lanham, Samantha Coombs, the Catnat, Reese Wilksey, JB, BK Harp, Lieutenant Ripley, and yet Trev says smile. I missed a shout out earlier. Dean Summers, thank you. Michelle M, pleasure as always. Gina Crockett and Graylin28, Gamma, Holly Pierce, Jimmy's Jammin', unbelievable group. If I didn't shout you out, don't take it personally. You guys are like number one on my list. As I said, I can't get to everybody, but I do want people watching the playback to see all the love, all the support we have in these channels, and that 999 is definitely representative of that. So that's it. I'm going to hang out for a little bit, just a couple minutes, because I know there's some sidebar chat. This isn't really pertaining to the video, but we just like to do a little bit of extended coverage. And one of the things that came up earlier was just the whispers and casual whisper chat. I do think that it is going to be, it's going to have to infuriate us. It's going to have to be something that leaves the internet buzzing. It's going to be so vile, so violent. And I don't think they can do all the kind of perverse elements they do in the comics. And I think what they're going to do with that is compensate with additional violence. And we got some birthday action going on here. Happy birthday, Storm. Our alpha and beta whispers, they are the leaders of the whispers. Crystal, when that karaoke happens live, we will definitely update. So, I think that's a great duet. Okay, so just random chat. If I were to do a karaoke song with Crystal the Singer Chick, and she mentioned Kid Rock, is there another duet that you guys would like to see or hear? One or the other? It's kind of... I'm going to read a few of these because I do want to see. Tanya Dockstader says, got to say it on record, we got punked. I think there was enough deception of keeping people kind of at bay so the spoilers didn't get out too soon. I like what they did, Tanya, I really do. Islands in the stream. Brian says Cranberries, Zombie. I don't know that would be a duet. And I don't know that, look, I'm not going to lie. There's been some times that I've tried to imitate Cranberries in the shower when no one was listening. I'm not going to do it on a stream. But I did. I was a fan of the Cranberries. Elton John and Kiki D. Don't go breaking my heart. I guess we could do. I figured there'd be a little bit more like Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga request. How come nobody is putting that out there as an option? I mean, I guess if Bradley could learn to sing in 18 months, yeah, give me 18 months. I can try it. There, now it's like, yes, that one. The one that everybody on the internet has done like 1,000 times. Sonny and Cher are options. That was your suggestion, Trace. Well, see, we were thinking alike. We're connected. Diana Ross and Lionel. What would that? Would that be Endless Love? Ooh, Leather and Lace. That would be Stevie Nicks and Don Henley. Was that Don Henley that did Leather and Lace? You in the moonlight. That's the only part I know. With something. Was it Sleepy Eyes? Could you ever love a man like me? Yeah, I could do that. There you go, Crystal. Crystal, a singer chick. We will do Leather and Lace. Don Henley and Stevie Nicks. I do. Stevie Nicks is the singer from the Cranberries. I mean, her voice. Stevie Nicks. Alicia Keys. And Bonnie Tyler. Probably 4 of the most distinctive female voices. I'm a fan. Any of those 4 could probably sing anything, and I think it'd be amazing. I agree, Mel. Trev Smile says, "Is this a episode of Random Thoughts?" Well, Trev, there is no random thoughts. It was actually random things. But no, we're just hanging out after the video. You know how like when you get off work and you just want to have a beer and hang out with people? Well, we're so charged up about talking about these topics that sometimes after our streams, some people check out early. They don't know that there's a little bit extra there. They don't know that we're going to hang out and just talk. So yeah, we do that from time to time. Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. Mel's like, how do you always see me? It depends. I think it's like at the time, I kind of see everybody. But the picture, definitely the picture of, you're roasting some weenies there. A lot of Tom Petty fans in here. I appreciate Tom Petty. I don't think I was a super big Tom Petty fan. I mean, I'm familiar with his music. Probably I like the catchy tune. So, when you get something like, I was talking with a friend of mine, said a woman done hurt his pride, told him they loved him, so then turn around and let him go. Something like that, like a jingle just sort of sticks in my head. Like, I can't get all these lyrics out of my head. I don't know what it is. I hear a song sometimes once or twice, and But I think it's the I think I correlate or relate to the lyrics in some weird sort of way, even like the first or second time. So yeah, it's tons of that. Just enough of it, right? No, not doing Easy Street. Um, Addictionless. What a question is that? Um, First of all, why would you even care to ask a question like that? I will say this, if it's keeping you up late at night, I'm not, but it's just a I don't know, it's just a silly question to ask like these days. From a busted spoiler I found set fire to the third bar. Yeah, I'd never listened to that song, and then when I heard it was rumored, so I guess if nothing else, the Soap Dirt Bad spoiler they put out there did force me to download the song, and it was really good. Prince, like, no, I don't think I'd even be close with Prince. Was working part time in a five and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee, something like that. Like, yeah, yeah, I could probably do some Raspberry Beret for you. That's it. That's all I can do. Even if you ask like about a group or a song, I'd probably pick the song that you would be least likely to expect me to sing. Like if you said Tom Petty, I would probably pick a Tom Petty song that is not the most popular song. Weird, huh? All right. I am going to. It's been a super, super. I wouldn't say exhausting day. It's just been so much positive emotion. A lot of good comments. You guys do me just as a side note, just a big favor. There are a few um, negative thoughts in some of our videos. Don't bash those people, but the one thing I would like, if you guys just participate in the videos, leave comments on some of the other videos. It's best sometimes to drown out the negative people just with better ideas without, don't stoop to their level. Don't, someone makes a silly comment, don't stoop to their level and feel like you got to attack them. Just, we'll continue to build up the channel by keeping people positive. And gradually, the silly people will go away or we'll block them. I mean, that's the only thing I'd say. All right, everybody. I am a big, big Rob Thomas fan. I will say that, and we'll discuss that in a future video. Once we get through the next 4 episodes, we will start doing random things again, so there'll be a lot more of this sort of hanging out. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. I will see you all at probably 9:30 tomorrow night. The time is still up in the air. We will do a Friday stream, so don't change all your plans. You guys are out somewhere. I get it. I know you guys have just spent a lot of time in these streams, so I'll try to do something to appeal for people that just happen to have a little bit of free time. Thanks, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow night at some point. Peace.